Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the EMAzing Tennis Podcast. Thank you so much for being here and supporting my podcast. Today with us, we have Riza Zalameda. I say her name perfectly now because I practiced the whole day. She's a tennis coach, a former WTA top 70 doubles player, where she played in Wimbledon, US Open, and French Open. She trained for 3 years at the Necker Island, and she was a personal tennis coach of Sir Richard Branson, which is just amazing. I can't wait to hear these stories. She played for UCLA and won a national championship. And there's so many great stories that she has, and I can't wait that she shares it with us. Currently, she just coaches anywhere and everywhere, at any time, worldwide. She does a great job. She has a couple programs that she's doing, which we're going to talk about today. So without further ado, welcome, Riza.
Thanks, Emma.
Did you like that intro?
I did. I loved it. It was so awesome. Love that.
Good. No, I'm really excited you're here today. Thanks for taking your time being here.
And I love hanging out with you because Emma, you're a really cool person.
Oh, thanks. I think this is just going to be a fun conversation with some tequila, right?
Yeah,
what is this? Can you tell us what it is?
we're drinking volley. It's called volley because I love volleys on the tennis court naturally. It's 100% agave tequila with sparkling water, and there's no additives, no crazy sugar. It is gluten-free and organic.
Nice. So this is what leads us into the next subject of
what I'm working on.
Yeah, exactly. Of Tipsy Tennis.
Yes.
So what is Tipsy Tennis?
Yeah, thank you. Well, Tipsy Tennis is my new endeavor to create fun for everyone, whether you're an advanced tennis player or a beginner tennis player. It basically originated from my time on Necker Island. As the head coach on Necker Island, which is this fantastical 72-acre remote rock in the Caribbean, owned and residence to Richard Branson, founder of Virgin. Basically, people come there for vacation to hang out and have a great time. So my job was to facilitate that on the tennis court. And what I found was people were very terrified to be on the tennis court with their family and friends to embarrass themselves. So they were just saying they're not good, they haven't played for 30 years. So one day I was trying to get a group of ladies to come play. And I said, why don't you come to the tennis court? Let's have some rosé and play tipsy tennis. And oh my gosh, it lit up the room, and it worked like 99% of the time to get people out on the court. And all I do is get, less than 20 people on the court. We play King of the Court, around the world, all the kid games that everyone could join in on. And I love that there was no pressure in it. Calling it tipsy tennis, like you can get as drunk as you want, but we're all about wellness here. It's more about having less pressure to win, and people are competitive in their nature. But when you have drinks involved, it becomes a happy hour, right? It becomes something that, there's not pressure to play really well. I can also sit out and just enjoy watching my partner play or my kids play. So now I'm not on Necker Island, and I'm bringing that to the world. So birthday parties, brunch, bachelorettes, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, bring your friends and family on the court and let's have a great time, blast music, have some volley drinks on side, and rosé, you name it. And you can make it as party as you want. Bring a bartender, have canapes, have a DJ, and we do this anytime you want, anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a new way of enjoying the game and experiencing the game.
I think it's genius, it's like, who would want to do that, right?
Right.
Well, kids, not
I give kids mocktails.
So you do?
Yeah.
So you have
I have a nice plethora of organic
Nice.
mocktails, and I've been partnering with some companies who have great options. As you know, as we're both fit women, we,
Exactly.
on the market now, there's so many alternatives.
Exactly.
So
No, that's great.
Mhm.
I really love it. You could do even, maybe something with like kids parties,
kids parties, exactly.
but not maybe, I don't know if
It
you would.
wouldn't be a tipsy, but it would just
Just
be a
fun.
fun day of tennis.
Oh yeah.
And I did this actually for Christmas.
Okay.
I had 12 kids on the court of different ages, like from 7 to 12. And rather than giving them drinks and shots, I gave them toys. So these
That's
little,
awesome.
little poppers and like sticky stuff. The kids loved it. And
That's
again,
great.
it's just like creating a motivation and enjoyment out of the game.
I really, really love that. So let's talk a little bit about Necker Island.
Mm.
Okay. First of all, how did you get that position? What did you do prior to that? And what led you to the position at the Necker Island?
Yeah, Necker Island I actually never knew about Necker until it was brought up to me by a friend who works at Virgin Galactic.
Okay.
So I was back in LA. I had just finished my stint as a Division 1 head coach out east, came back to the West Coast, and I just met the right people at the right time. And Richard owns Virgin Galactic. So this lady at Galactic was a former pro as well, like me. And she told me that Richard was looking for a pro on Necker. And it was literally by sheer luck and the opportune time I was open. And that's pretty much how these things go. However, there are lots of platforms online where you could find remote work, seasonal coaching, which I recommend for coaches who don't want to be tied down to one location. You could actually work in Spain. You can go to Turks and Caicos. There's a lot of resorts that are open seasonally. And that's how other people would find these roles. The one on Necker specifically, you need to know someone that's that exclusive. You need to know someone.
Yeah.
But in general, you have to be very flexible. Like it's important to have the ability to up and go and move and be away from home for months at a time.
Yeah.
And having a family is very difficult to relocate. And as a female coach, these are things that you have to consider if you do have a family. But having said that, if you can go away for 6 months, 3 to 6 months, like go for it.
Can you bring your family?
And you can bring your family. Yeah. You just
Yeah.
make it worth your while.
Yeah.
And Necker, by the way, you asked me what it was like on Necker Island. You coach Richard twice a day.
Twice a day.
He loves tennis.
He trains twice a day.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a busy schedule?
He has invented the working for your lifestyle. Like you can make a lifestyle even if you're so busy running hundreds of businesses. You can actually make it work. And he's obviously, he's been there, done that, but he's someone that entrepreneurs try to emulate and look up to, because he's created the balance. He's understood how to be a visionary, but yet stay so grounded at the same time. And working with him, you see his work ethic. So he'll play tennis twice a day without fail. Even if he flies in from wherever he is, he will always try to play tennis, even if it's for 20 minutes. It's about creating routine. It's about keeping yourself accountable. And for him, it's like, if he stops moving, then he'll slow down. If you stop moving, you're going to slow down. And it was such a great takeaway for me, learning how to create balance in your life. And he's just one person that taught me so much about how to create your life. You don't have to just be kind of at the mercy of your world. I think sometimes I feel like the universe is pulling me in a direction and I'm like, whoa. But Richard's like, actually, I can create something of this. And I can only really focus on what I have right now.
Mm.
So he talks a lot about circles of influence is another thing. It's, you have a lot of people entrepreneurs who come through, they say they want to make a difference in the world, make some sort of impact, and we both do as teachers. But he does talk about these circles where you create a circle around yourself, take care of yourself first, then you take a circle around your family, and then you take care of them, and then you take care of your friends and your neighbors, your community, and that circle just keeps getting bigger as you continuously succeed in your inner circles.
Mm.
And that's a really great way of understanding how to make those positive impacts.
That's so awesome. I've never heard.
I don't think I told you that story yet. It just kind of
You
came to
didn't.
me.
You told me a lot of cool stories, and I hope we're gonna bring them up here in this conversation. When you hear these stories from all of these influential, successful people, you're like, okay, because I mean, it worked, right?
It worked for them.
Exactly. For the audience, maybe some people don't know much
Yeah.
about him. What does he do exactly?
Yeah, so Sir Richard Branson was originally his trademark was Virgin Records. And he created this empire of the Virgin Record brand, and they were they presided over Janet Jackson, over the Spice Girls, over Rolling Stones. He was just one of the shakers and movers in the world, and innovators. He's an entrepreneur, like we call it, like there's a word for it, where he is an entrepreneur that does everything from music to travel. So right now he has Virgin Galactic, the space company. He has Virgin Atlantic, the airlines. He used to have Virgin Australia and Virgin America. He has Virgin Trains now. Hyperloop, which is this new high-tech underground tunnel system run by magnetic fields.
Wow.
But then he also has like other incredible, like Virgin Hotels, Virgin Limited. I mean, you can name every single thing, and he puts the Virgin brand on it. Virgin Voyages, his cruise line, and it's all about fun. It's all about doing something different from the boring world, and he's always thought out of the box. So if you want, you should read his book. It's pretty cool. Like,
what's the book?
He has a couple autobiographies, and he has a couple books.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. I'll look into it. I mean, probably it's even cooler when you do know somebody, and then
I had to read his book before I met him, honestly.
I'm sure. So you so you pretend that you know more.
I know. It's so funny. Like sometimes people who come to the island, they're such huge fans. And when they come to the tennis court to play with him, they're just like shaking in their boots. They're like, I don't know how to play tennis anymore. I'm like, we were just having a lesson this morning, you know how to play. And so he's just such an icon, but he's such a human as well. He's a wonderful human being.
That's great. And you see, like, these are the opportunities that you can have as being a tennis coach.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can meet all of these people and go through all of these places. But what would you say that if there's one trait or one thing that a tennis coach should have in order to work on a Necker Island? Because I don't think anybody can just pick up the job.
Totally. You have to have certain elements to you as a person to thrive in that environment.
Exactly.
Because you are not just working for any clientele.
Yes.
And every week there's different people. So one of the traits I would say is openness to life, openness to people, non-judgmental. Like, just as you're a coach, your student is so vulnerable. Like, they trust you immensely with them at that moment, and oftentimes on the court they'll tell you about their life or what's going on and how they're feeling, and so you need to be open to receive that. And I feel like if anyone's trying to become a coach, just understanding how to kind of let down your own internal narrative, and have a blank slate and take in because a lot of the misconception as a teacher is you're talking all the time.
Yeah.
Like we love to talk. You and Emma, me and Emma can talk all the time. We just talk. But the key is listening.
That is the key. And I'm learning that more and more in my coaching career.
Right.
I've learned to ask more questions and to listen more, because a lot of times you're talking, right? But you don't know what's coming in, what's staying, what's coming out, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, let's go, let's talk. And because it's a two-way street. It's not just me coaching you, right?
Absolutely.
It's like it's all about the communication and connection.
Yes.
Right.
Oof. Connecting.
And you don't have to be an amazing tennis coach. You don't have to know every little
minutia detail.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about connecting with a person, figuring out what they need, what that one specific person needs. Right.
So here's another thing about coaching is you have a structure as a guiding point.
Yeah.
We all have like our own certification. This is a warm up. And then, but like the best coaches, they're so well in tune with their students, their client, like they're so well tuned that they can create the fun. Like
yes.
They know what to say. They know how to smile. They know how to banter, and you create an experience. Like you need to ask, first of all, like, do you ever ask your student, like, what do you want to do today? Or like, what are you here for?
Of course. That's the first question.
Right?
First question.
Because it's so important to know what they want, what they're here for. So you don't have to waste your time trying to do something that they're not going to connect with.
But then you also see how involved they are.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they're actually like there and they're like, okay, I've been doing this, I want to work on this. Or they're like, I don't know.
Right. It's so hard as a coach too.
I'm like, so you literally, like, if I was coming to a lesson, any lesson, I'm like, personal training lesson, right? Okay, what do I want to work on? Which part of my body I want to work on, right? Full body workout, focus on my abs. Same thing. Okay, I'm coming from a match, or I did this. I would really like to clean my shots. I would work on my body. Right. So yeah, that's always the first question, and then you kind of see where you're at right off the bat with a person.
Exactly.
So yeah, I like that. Okay, let's go. Besides working and doing all of these cool things, how do you find balance in life? What else do you do? I mean, this is such a broad question, right?
It's a good question.
But it's a good question because how do we actually find balance in life? I mean, everybody wants that balance, right? Everybody wants to figure it out. Be happy, have money, be successful,
be there for
everyone, be present. And then the more I feel like I think about it, the more I get stressed and anxious about it, right? So basically balance is the key, right? But how do you find a balance?
It starts with prioritizing and being accountable to that, putting it in your diary as soon as you know it's going to happen, or that you have that meeting or you have that Pilates class, you put it in your diary right away. I remember on Necker, I had the privilege and the honor of teaching tennis to Michelle Obama and her daughters and friends. And I'll give you two really cool takeaways from meeting this incredible lady. So Michelle Obama just came back from her book tour in Europe for Becoming. And I sat down with her on a very short tennis break. And I asked her, how do you do what you do? How do you become Michelle Obama and do everything that you do as a mom, as a wife, as a first lady, as someone that everyone looks up to, and be there for everyone? And she told me that it's all about prioritizing and planning and like I said, and holding accountable. When she gets her schedule out, it's a year schedule. It's not just the week or the month. She puts in her daughter's recital. She puts in all the family affairs that she needs to attend, where she needs to be, because she prioritizes her family. And then she goes the second bit. Then she says, myself. I need to take care of myself. So she'll plan her her Pilates classes, her yoga, or whatever she needs to do to take care of herself. She puts that in her calendar. Mind you, she's also traveling a lot. So when she's going to a city, the first thing she'll do before she even books meetings, she'll put in her soul cycling schedule. She'll put in her, massage in her diary. Then she'll schedule her meetings around that.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Of course.
And holding yourself accountable, like don't move that meeting that you need, or that class that you need to take for herself. And then also another thing, Michelle didn't tell this to me specifically, but another friend of mine who I met on Necker, she said to me, you need to give yourself permission that you won't be everything to everyone. You don't have to be everything to everyone. Because I think as females, it's in our nature. It's not even just because we're girls, but as a female, it's in our genetics to want to be nurturing and to be there for others. And we feel the need to be to fulfill this concept, this responsibility, and to give yourself permission that you can't be everywhere at one time, and you can't always take in like someone's stress and sit there and listen to someone telling you their problems. You have to you almost need to put your hand up and be like, I'm here for you and I support you, but I cannot take this energy from you. That's just one example.
I really like both of those. Those are great takeaways, because right now I do struggle with both of those. I feel like I need to be everything to everyone, because I'm a person that cares, I care about any client, any student that I coach. So it's not like I can just come there for a lesson and bye. Obviously my family and my kids, and it's been tough to balance everything out. And you see what Michelle Obama does, I do it differently. First, I schedule everything else. And then if I see I have some time in between, then I'll schedule my Pilates class, right? Then I'll schedule a run or anything.
I know.
But everything around that. But I will start doing that. Thanks, Michelle.
Good.
If you're listening to this. So since we are almost at 2023, well, actually, we're going to release this episode on January 2nd of 2023. Tell me, do you like to set goals?
I want to answer this as an athlete, but I also I want to answer it as a evolved person, because athletes are not necessarily the best people to emulate when it comes to goals and this idea of success and winning. Okay, so I like goals for tasks, like short-term tasks. So I'm a lister. So I like to list out what needs to be done, to-do list. Big on that. Same. I love the satisfaction of crossing something off.
My God.
So yes, so goals are really important for tasks. I don't like goals because they have a habit of putting a box around your objective, meaning like, if you put a goal on yourself to lose 30 pounds, which a lot of people do, for example, getting to 30, I think it's great to have a number, but it also prevents you from doing even better. Like if you were to 30 pounds, then why didn't you just try to go to 50? Or, it kind of restricts you and you're mentally and emotionally. So I don't like putting a box around myself.
Yeah.
I don't like setting goals for personal development, right? Like professionally. Like I don't want to just say, I want to do 10 Tipsy Tennis games this year.
Yeah.
I want to do as many as I can and quality.
Yes.
What if 10 is not the right number? What if I need to do half that and make it spectacular and memorable? So I feel a little bit cautious when I set those kind of strict parameters. I like objectives. I like putting energy in towards a direction that I want to go. So if I want to lose 30 pounds. It's not about losing the 30 pounds. My objective is to become a healthier person. My objective is to be able to carry my kids across, across the lawn and up the stairs without losing breath. I want to have more intimacy with my husband. Those are such important, deep things that are more motivating than reaching a number. And as a professional woman, there are gonna be obstacles, and there are gonna be things that how can you put a goal on being a professional female athlete tennis coach? What are your goals? Like, what, you want to make a certain amount of money in a year? Well, yeah, but you're probably in the wrong career if you want to become a millionaire in tennis. My goal is to use my talent and my skill set as a tennis coach and innovate and create new experiences for other people, to connect on a deeper level and build on it. And then the results will take care of itself, just as we coach.
There's an audiobook, Essentialism. Have you heard about it?
No.
It's amazing. I highly recommend it. I'm like halfway done, and it's describing me so much, and I feel so guilty of it.
Oh no.
Because like a difference between essentialist and non-essentialist. I'm at the moment of my life where I'm just like trying to say yes to every opportunity, say yes to everything, right? It's like, oh, you have this business opportunity. So yes, let's do it. Oh, this. And then like at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like exhausted. I don't know what's happening, what I did.
You bit off more than you can chew.
Exactly. And then I'm like, okay, this book is saying just like learning how to say no to things and figuring out what's essential and putting like most like successful people, what they've done, and when they were interviewed and everything, they're like, they picked one or two things and they really put all of their time and focus on that.
Yes.
Instead of just trying to do everything.
Yes.
And I'm guilty of, and I don't know if you are, like you said, the to-do list, and I love crossing it off. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I keep adding things. And as the day is going, I feel like I have to be productive always. And I always have to fill my minute with something. But maybe you're not like that, but I am, and that's something I'm working on right now. And in the book, they're saying it's like the most successful people take gaps during the day just to think. 30 minutes, journal and think without distractions, without the phone, and you check the message, email when something comes up. You see, you have 30 minutes and you're like, okay, that's when the best ideas come. I feel like even just thinking right now, just taking 30 minutes of my day today just to think.
Yes.
Like, come on. Do I really have time? I'm gonna have time. Then I'm like, I don't have time for that. I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. No, but I actually need to start doing that.
Yes.
Or maybe increments of 10.
Yes.
3 times 10 to start with something.
It's a great idea.
Because it's like I literally feel like I need to be productive. And then all the time when I see my husband just like sitting there watching TV, I'm like, you should be helping me here cleaning this. He's like, I'm just chilling for a second. I'm like, no, there's no time in a day
to chill.
So
I'll stop you there, because it's the athlete in you.
Oh, okay.
It's the athlete in you.
I don't think so.
Well, because
I know other athletes, they're not like
okay, so when I say athlete, it's the fierce competitor in you. And I know a lot of people who are super competitive who are not athletes, who don't have coordination. But like, it's the way they see it's like a personal race.
Yes.
And it's like you need to almost prove it to yourself.
Yes.
Because you're like driven, you're competing against yourself, just like in a match. And that's where you have to realize that you're actually not, you're supposed to be your teammate.
Yep. I agree. But it's something, but I know it's a lot of people struggle with that.
Absolutely.
A lot of people struggle with that. And even if you're at the top or you're not, or you're just rising.
So before we end the podcast, I wanted to also say another thing that I'm really passionate about is getting moms into playing tennis.
Hmm.
Because just as you were talking to me about this, like trying to be everywhere at once, and all my mom tennis clients, they're always just coming stressed, like windswept, like they were, literally
Because
windswept.
we are, yeah.
And we get on the court, I get them to breathe, and this is your time. This is your 1 hour, 15 minutes of you time to just work on your body, hit that ball,
Yeah.
and challenge your mind. That's your 30 minutes of break. What you were saying of taking some time off, that could be considered it. And then
Yes.
you can bring a girlfriend involved. You can bring, like this morning I taught a couple. It was the first time I've ever played tennis together, and that will help their marriage. And also bringing a girlfriend or friend onto the tennis court with you, that's your way of hanging out. So if
Makes
you
sense.
are scrambled for time, tennis is a really great sport to pick up at any, and being as an adult, it's the best time because it also works on your motor skills, your balance. It keeps you sharp.
Okay, where can the followers find you online?
All right. Well, so far I'm on Instagram
What's your username on Instagram?
at
Wow, how did you come up with such a creative name? Like how?
Don't you worry. Next year, I'm going to roll out with something you've never seen before.
2023.
Oh yeah,
It's because I'm gonna be the only
that's
tennis
my
with.
goal. No, I saw a tennis with Ryan or
Yeah,
tennis
there's
with
a lot of them.
David or like
Tennis with Tyler, tennis with Dylan, tennis with I don't even know. I don't care though. I don't care.
There's only one Emma. There's only one Riza.
Riza. That's it.
It's all good.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
So tennis with Riza Instagram. Where else?
Tennis with Riza. You can find me on my website, tenniswithriza.com.
Shocker, mine is also tennis with them.
And there you will find a plethora of fun information on how to play tipsy tennis with your friends and family. And the second podcast that we have together will be covering destination tennis, which is also fantastic. Travel and play tennis in luxury and style.
Wow. So we're really, I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah.
So we talked about tipsy tennis. Next time is travel and playing tennis in luxury destinations.
Yes.
Awesome. Riza, thank you so much again for being
Thank
with
you.
us today. And I'll see
Until
you
next
soon.
time.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and a review. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok at Tennis with Emma. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.